cheese, so much so that I don't notice anybody else sitting near us on the train. I am on my way to the Montreaux Riviera, which is famous for a couple of things. It's famous for its wine, unsurprisingly, because it's a Riviera. It's also famous for music because it has a world famous jazz festival that takes place there. It was the home of Freddie Mercury. It's the place where the Deep Purple song "Smoke on the River" "Smoke on the Water" was written. It's got Led Zeppelin named albums after it. Like it's a musical spot. Gone into a tunnel. It's also the place. It's the home of Nestle, and something people don't often register about it is that it's a real literary hub as well, because it's where Zelda Fitzgerald lived. It's where Hemingway set one of the most pivotal moments of A Farewell to Arms. Nabokov lived here. Rousseau lived here for a while. So it's a cultural hub, somewhere which I'm really, really excited to go and see, and possibly also have some Nestle. And I'm on my way. So here we go to the Montreaux Riviera. So I am in Montreaux, and this is Thomas, and he works the tourism board, and I figured he was the man to come to find out a little bit more about the region.
Right.
Do you mind introducing yourself?
Sure. My name is Thomas. I'm a sales manager for the Mice business. Here we are together in Montreux with Miles Davis, Ella Fitzgerald and B.B. King in front of the Fairmont Montreux Palace and close to the Miles Davis Hall of the Congress Center 2M2C.
And I wondered whether you could tell me a story about Montreaux that people who haven't been to the region might interest them.
The most famous story about Montreaux would be the song "Smoke on the Water" from Deep Purple. They wrote this song in 1971. They were here to organize a concert, actually to register their new album, and unfortunately the casino burned down. And when they saw this smoke going over the lake from their hotel in Montreux, they decided to write this song "Smoke on the Water." That became a big hit of Deep Purple.
Okay, so seeing as you've mentioned all the musicians, can you explain why Montreux is covered in statues of musicians?
Sure, Montreux is very known internationally because of the jazz festival. Actually, thanks to our jazz festival that takes place every month, every year in July in the Congress Center. But we also famous, it's not about jazz, it's also about classical music and electro music. So we also have a classical music festival in September and an electro music festival in May. So Montreux is very orientated for music and entertainment.
Okay, thank you so much, that's brilliant.
You're welcome.
I feel ready to take on the region now.
All right.
Okay, bye-bye. So, something you really realise when you're in Switzerland is that wine is a really big deal here. Perhaps unsurprisingly, because it's got a French part, a German part, an Italian part, but actually it's the Swiss grapes and the Swiss wine that I'm really interested in. So I've come to the Montreaux Riviera to find out a little bit more about this UNESCO World Heritage Site, because that's what all of the wineries have been made here. They've been made UNESCO World Heritage Sites. So you can rent out an entire of these steam pedalo boats that are signature to all of the lakes here. They take up to about 300 people, or you can use your Swiss pass and go on a public one. Come over to this beautiful region that's framed by the Evian producing parts of the Alps, Lake Geneva just there. I've come to one of the oldest wineries. It was built in the late 1300s, the Domaine de Daly, to hijack the owner and ask him a few questions about this incredibly old winery. I want to know what they're doing now, I want to know what their methods are. I'm hopefully getting to a little bit of tasting, so let's go in and find him.
So welcome to the Domaine du Daly. My name is Cyril. I'm owning this wonderful place, this winery, and I will just now take you around to show you all the parts, the cellars and the terrace facing the lake here in front. So, as you can see on these walls, which reflect the history about the winery, The winery was founded in 1392 by the monks, so it was the Cistercian, which has been planted all the vines here in Lavaux. And here at this winery, it was some monks from Lausanne who planted first, and from Fribourg, which is the next region. And in 1392 they just bought the lands to a Mr. Mistralis to plant all the vines here. And they were leading this winery for more than 600 years. And they just sold the winery in 1397, where my grandfather at that time was working in the winery. So all the know-how of the vines planted here was from the monks. So it's quite similar as Burgundy and all the region in Switzerland. And for myself, I started to make wine since 2003, which we took over the place with my father again. My father was born in this winery, and we had the opportunity to buy it again in 2003. And I had the great pleasure to take this challenge and to make the wine since now, 2005. So we're trying to work really on authentic wines, which are reflecting the soil, the climate, and each vintage which is particular, and we are making everything naturally. So this is the barrel cellar. It's a little bit like our church, where the wine are just getting relaxed and making their aging. So we have white wines, some aromatic white wine like Chardonnay, Sauvignon Blanc, Viognier, which are making over 1 year aging. And then we have the red wines, all this part, which is the Pinot Noir, Grande Reserve, Gamanera, which is special blends, and the Mercica, Merlot, Syrah, Cabernet. For these wines we do approximately from 13 months up to 22 months aging. And all those wines are bottled without filtration. The only technical we have here is the humidity control, to give enough humidity to the woods for the aging of the wines, and the temperature system. Maybe we can just taste one little wine. Very good. Mitch, yeah. Okay. Yeah, bon.
He's got the tongue.
Yeah, taste.
The ultimate taste.
Taste this one. This is the Gamanera.
It's really it's a lot fresher than I was expecting. Go for it.
Okay, so here we are in the old cellar. This cellar was built in 1397, and the winery Domaine du Dallet was established in 1392. But this part is where they were making the wine since more than 600 years old, and it's where we are making basically the Chasselas, the traditional Swiss grape, and we are aging in each tank a different part of vines to make different selections. And here we do approximately around 1 year aging before bottling. So in big volume like this, we work more on the minerality of the wine, something more straight. Then when we work in barrels, we work more on the complexity, which is given by the wood, and the burns of the barrels, which give also little complexity in aromatic way and structure of the wines. This is a nice view. So here we go for Chasselas, which is the typical grape produced in this region. It's a really mineral grape, not too much aromatic. It's really delicate, and it's really a fine wine which is not heavy, not too much aromatic like Chardonnay, Sauvignon Blanc. So it's much more straight wine, easy drinking, perfect wine for fish and barbecues in UK. So here we are in the event place where we can rent the place for making private events. We can have inside maximum 48 people seated, and on the terrace we can go up to 100 people for some aperitifs, but we advise maximum of 80 people. And as you can see, there is a wonderful view facing the lake in the heart of Montreaux Riviera region. C'était bien?
C'était parfait.